Patrick Schwarzenegger just got married, and let me tell you, this wedding was absolutely everything you'd expect from Hollywood royalty, plus so much more. The son of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver finally tied the knot with model Abby Champion in what can only be described as the most picture-perfect Idaho wedding I've seen all year. Now, before we dive into all the juicy details, let me just say this whole love story has been brewing for nearly a decade, and honestly, it's about time these two made it official. I mean, when you've got someone who's willing to stick around through your awkward White Lotus phase and still say yes to marrying you, you know you found the one. So here's what went down on September 6th, and trust me, this wedding had more star power than most Hollywood premieres. Patrick and Abby decided to say their vows overlooking the absolutely stunning Lake Coeur d'Alene in Idaho. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think of celebrity weddings, I'm usually picturing some over-the-top Beverly Hills mansion or maybe a private island somewhere. But these two went for something completely different, and I'm actually here for it. They chose Gaza Ranch, which is this exclusive golf club that sits right above the lake. And get this, it's not even their first time there. Apparently they vacationed at this exact spot before, which makes the whole thing even more romantic if you ask me. There's something to be said about choosing a place that already holds special memories for your big day. Now, let's talk about the fashion, because Abby absolutely killed it in the bridal department. She wore this gorgeous boat neck sleeveless wedding dress with a full skirt that literally looked like something out of a fairy tale. The dress was classic white, obviously, but what really caught my attention was how she styled her hair. She went with this sleek half-up look, with her blonde hair perfectly styled, and then added this long white veil that was just pinned perfectly. I'm telling you, the whole look was effortlessly elegant without being too flashy or trying too hard. Patrick, on the other hand, went for this really interesting choice with a cream tuxedo jacket instead of the traditional black. He paired it with a crisp white dress shirt and black slacks, and honestly, the whole look worked perfectly for the lakeside setting. It was formal enough for a wedding, but had this relaxed, summery vibe that matched the outdoor ceremony perfectly. I've got to give him credit for not just going with the standard black tux that literally every groom wears. But here's where things get really interesting. The guest list. When I say this was star-studded, I mean it was absolutely loaded with A-listers and family members who are basically Hollywood royalty themselves. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver were there because, hello, they're the parents of the groom. But it didn't stop there. Katherine Schwarzenegger was also in attendance with her husband Chris Pratt. And can we just talk about how wild it is that Chris Pratt is now officially Patrick's brother-in-law? I mean, we're talking about Star-Lord and the son of the Terminator being family now. That's got to make for some interesting holiday conversations. Patrick's half-brother Joseph Biener was also there, which just shows how tight-knit this family really is despite all the complexities that come with blended Hollywood families. It's actually pretty refreshing to see everyone coming together for such a special moment. Now, here's what really caught me off guard. Jason Isaac showed up to the wedding. For those of you who might not know, Jason played Patrick's on-screen dad Timothy Ratliff in The White Lotus, and apparently their bond went way beyond just acting together. I mean, how cool is it that your fake TV dad actually cares enough to show up to your real wedding? That speaks volumes about the kind of relationships Patrick builds with his coworkers. And speaking of unexpected guests, Rob Lowe was also there. Now, I'm not entirely sure what the connection there is, but honestly, when Rob Lowe shows up to your wedding, you know you're doing something right in life. Let me take you back to how this whole love story started, because it's actually pretty sweet. Patrick and Abby met through a mutual friend back in 2015, and apparently there were immediate sparks. I love stories like this because it's not some manufactured Hollywood meet cute or a publicity stunt. They genuinely connected through their social circle, which is how most normal relationships actually start. They kept things pretty low-key for about a year before making it Instagram official in 2016. And can I just say, I respect the fact that they took their time with going public. In today's world where everyone shares every detail of their relationship online immediately, it's refreshing to see a couple that actually built a solid foundation before putting themselves out there for public consumption. The proposal itself sounds like something straight out of a romance movie. Patrick popped the question in December 2023 on a beach that was completely covered in rose petals. Now, I know some people might think that's a bit over the top, but come on, when you're proposing to a supermodel who's used to luxury photo shoots and high-end fashion campaigns, you've got to bring your A game. And honestly, rose petals on a beach? That's pretty hard to beat in the romance department. What I find really interesting is that Patrick has already been talking about starting a family with Abby. In a recent interview, he basically said he'd have kids tomorrow if he could, but he's leaving it up to Abby since she's so busy with her modeling career right now. I actually think that shows a lot of maturity and respect for her career ambitions. Too often we see celebrities rushing into having kids without considering their partner's professional goals. Abby has been crushing it in the modeling world, working with major brands like Calvin Klein, and it makes total sense that she'd want to capitalize on her momentum right now. The fact that Patrick is supportive of that instead of pressuring her into immediately starting a family shows that this relationship is built on mutual respect and understanding. Now, let's talk about Patrick's career for a second, because this guy has really been making himself a name beyond just being Arnold's son. His role as Saxon Ratliff in The White Lotus really put him on the map as a serious actor. I'll be honest, when I first heard he was going to be in the show, I was a little skeptical. Sometimes celebrity kids get roles just because of who their parents are, and it doesn't always work out well. But Patrick actually delivered a really solid performance. He brought this complexity to Saxon that could have easily been just a one-dimensional rich kid character. Instead, he made the character feel real and relatable, even when he was doing absolutely terrible things. That takes actual acting chops, not just good genetics and family connections. The wedding location choice also tells us something about who these two are as a couple. Instead of going for some massive, over-the-top celebration in Los Angeles or New York City, they chose this intimate outdoor setting in Idaho. It's still luxurious, obviously, but it's more about the natural beauty and the personal significance than about showing off wealth or status. I think that says a lot about their priorities as a couple. They could have easily sold exclusive rights to their wedding photos to some magazine for millions of dollars and turned the whole thing into a media circus. Instead, they kept it relatively private and focused on actually celebrating with the people that matter most to them. The fact that they've been together for almost 9 years before getting married also shows they're not rushing into anything. In Hollywood, where relationships often seem to move at warp speed and marriages sometimes last shorter than most people's vacations, it's actually pretty remarkable to see a couple take their time and really build something substantial together. What I love most about this whole story is that it feels genuine. Patrick and Abby aren't constantly posting every detail of their relationship for clicks and likes. They're not using their romance to generate headlines or boost their careers. They just seem like two people who genuinely love each other and want to build a life together, which honestly shouldn't be as rare as it is in celebrity culture. The Idaho wedding was absolutely beautiful from what we can see in the photos, and it perfectly captured who they are as a couple. It was elegant without being pretentious, star-studded without being a media circus, and romantic without being completely over the top. Looking at this wedding and this relationship, I'm genuinely optimistic about their future together. They've already proven they can weather the ups and downs of being in the public eye while maintaining their privacy and their connection to each other. Patrick's career is on an upward trajectory, Abby is killing it in the modeling world, and they seem to have this solid foundation of respect and genuine affection that you don't always see in celebrity relationships. So congratulations to Patrick Schwarzenegger and Abby Champion on finally making it official. Here's hoping their marriage is as beautiful and enduring as that lakeside ceremony in Idaho, and that they continue to prove that sometimes Hollywood love stories really do have happy endings. And now there's a slightly funny and confusing little detail in the source article that I have to mention. It refers to Patrick as the Skim star who became a household name playing Saxon Ratliff. Now hold on, we all know Abby is the supermodel who has worked with major brands like Calvin Klein, and it's highly likely she's the one with the Skims connection. It's probably just a little typo in the reporting, but it's a humorous little mix-up. Maybe Patrick did a secret Skims campaign we all missed. I doubt it, but it's a funny thought. The reality is he became a household name not because of any brand affiliation, but because of his incredible, nuanced, and genuinely unsettling performance in The White Lotus. He proved to everyone that he is not just Arnold's son, he is a formidable actor with serious talent and range. He held his own among a cast of seasoned veterans and became one of the most talked about characters of the season. So, when you put it all together, this wedding was more than just a celebrity event. It was a celebration of a genuine, long-term love story. It was a fusion of powerful families who have shaped American culture in vastly different ways. It was a testament to personal style and the choice of intimacy over spectacle. And it was the official start of a new chapter for a couple who seem to have their priorities perfectly in order: support each other, love each other, and build their future on their own terms. I am genuinely so happy for them. It feels right. It feels authentic. In a sea of fleeting celebrity romances, Patrick Schwarzenegger and Abby Champion feel like the real deal. They've built a life together over the better part of a decade, and this wedding was the beautiful, heartfelt, and incredibly star-studded cherry on top. I can't wait to see what the future holds for them, both professionally and personally. My bet is it's going to be something amazing. Congratulations to the happy couple.